Hello everybody and welcome back. Our party have just finished clearing out a lava lizard and stung by some steam weevils and blasted by a vent of steam. Couldn't have ended better. I did say that I thought Liz was on the verge of leveling up, and when I did all my calculations for the end of last time, she has indeed crept over the next level by 5 points. So she has indeed officially leveled up. This is quite a big level up for her because she goes from 4 to 5, and that means her Thaco drops by 2 and her saving throws drop by 2. So her base Thaco is going from 19 to 17. She often uses her short bow. She gets another dex bonus onto that and her skilled training bonus onto that. So it will in effect be 14 when she's using her arrows. Thaco when using her sword +1 will be 16. So her missile Thaco is 14. She usually gets a short range bonus onto that as well. And all her thieving skills go up by 5. Now Liz has a +1 con bonus, so her hit points are currently 16. 4 of those are due to her con bonus and the other 12 are due to 4d4. She has rolled slightly above average. Let's see if she can continue that trend. 2. Oh well, that's just in the lower half of average. So her hit points go up by 3, so they're now 19. But for the purposes of this adventure, they are in fact 21 because we drunk from the magic fountain upstairs and she got a +2 constitution bonus, which will be lost whenever this adventure is over. In fact, it might be lost whenever they leave the cave system. With all that out of the way, our party have nowhere else to go but up here. Now we did do 2 healings for Sylvia. That would have taken 2 turns, so that is of course Q for a wandering monster. And indeed, the call was answered. Why? And it's a 2. I don't think we've had a 2 from this wandering monster table before. Robber flies. Okay, these are 2 hit dice monsters and they bite quite fiercely for 1d8 damage. There's 1 to 4 of them. And there's 4 of them. And they've got quite good hit points at 12, 10, 9 and 7. An AC of 6 and a Thaco of 18. Let's roll for initiative. These things make quite a buzzing noise, but apparently they just jump out. So what I suspect is happening here is that in the many vents and cracks of these cave systems, these have made a burrow in the cracks in the walls. And indeed they do fly out and suddenly just bite us. So Sylvia is back onto melee and our frontmost missile user is Liz with her new spanking extra 3 HP. 1 on Donard. That hits for 8 damage. He is down from 22 to 14. The 1 on Carrick misses. The 1 on Sylvia hits AC 5, that's a miss. And the 1 on Liz misses. Our round, Liz will have to switch to her short sword. Can she use a bow within close quarters combat? The answer is no, and the player's manual makes that quite clear that if you're fighting within 5 feet, a missile weapon will automatically miss. There are other systems. My experience of 2nd edition from playing computer games is that you get a -4 Thaco penalty and armor class penalty, but in this system it's a point blank no, you fail. So she's going to use this turn to switch weapons. But we'll do Cullen, who hits and does 2 damage. So the 1 on Liz is from 7 to 5. Gareth misses. Right, I'm going to do 3 melee. I'm going to do Donard, who hits, and the one on him is from 12 to 5. I'm gonna do Carrick. Who misses? He hits AC 7. And I'm gonna do Sylvia, who hits AC 6. She gets a +1 because of her sword and does 3 damage. The one on her is from 9 to 6. And Liz is gonna take out her sword. Right, round 2. And we get another shot at them. Good. So I'm gonna have Cullen, who hits and kills the one that's on Liz. I'm gonna have Gareth Ironhand shoot. That was a 3, who misses. I'm gonna have Donard. He hits AC 6 and he does 5 damage. The one that's on him is dead. There are 2 left, one on Carrick and one on Sylvia. Liz is going to use her short sword +1. And, well, she's not that good at a short sword +1. And then we have Sylvia on the one on her, who misses, and Carrick on the one on him. Oh, and he misses badly. Right, there's 2 left. It's their round. Do they fly away? Yes. Their morale fails, and they zip off after taking an absolutely massive chunk out of Donard. Bummer. So we're here. And we have to continue on, and we move further forward for 60 feet. The tunnel takes a sharp turn to the southwest, and lo and behold, ahead of us, we see a door. We might as well listen at this door, even though we believe it's a foregone conclusion. Liz hears nothing, so we go in, and lo and behold, we're in an octagonal room. And I think we can judge from the distance we've travelled, we're not in this one. Right, what we're going to do, in fact, is we're going to start scratching the doors. Or actually, we do have a mallet, and we do have iron spikes, so we're going to spike this door open. This door's shut, but we went through there. So how many doors have we got left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's just do a roll to see which door we go through. I think people have lost the will for a democratic vote, and we're going to shrug our shoulders and point at one. So I'll roll a 1d5. And it's door number 5. Which is this direction. We're going to use a mallet and a spike. I'm going to hold this door open. And this door goes north, and it curls it to the east. And by the time we get to here, are we going to be cursed with more wandering monsters? And we are. Right. Back in a minute as we find out what the hells has been waiting for us around this corner. Okay, let's throw this 1d6. The dice of nightmares. And it's a 1. It's piranha birds. Right, flying things seem to be the theme of the day. 1d4 plus 3. There's 6 of them. Okay, let's see who gets surprise. They surprise us. Right, I'm going to put 3 on our frontliners. Our piranha birds are only half-hit dice monsters, and they have HP of 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, and 1, and a thackle of 19, and damage of 1d4. So 2 on Donard, that's a miss. That's a miss. 2 on Carrick, it's a miss. And that's a miss. And 2 on Sylvia. And that's a bad miss from it. And the second one misses. Right. That was their surprise round. So it is round 1. And it's mutual. I'll do all that again. Let's get there. shift out of the way. They do the early shift, we do the late shift. So that's a miss on Donard. And that's a hit for 1 HP. He is definitely going to be healing himself. 2 on Carrick. It's a miss. They need a natural 20 to hit him. And that's a miss. And then 2 on Sylvia. They need a 15 or more. And that's a miss. And that's, yeah, there's one which I think may have eaten some fermented berries and is a bit drunk. So let's do some archery. Malin, who's fed up with these tunnels, is going to throw a dagger. And they have an AC of 6, and that hits AC 6. Despite his -1 strength bonus, he kills the weakest. Yes, so he can punch the air. Then we'll do Liz, who hits and kills another one. Let's do Cullen. Oh, that was going to tip into an 18. And let's do Gareth. He gets a short range bonus, so that is 13. He hits AC 6. And he kills another. There are 3 left. The one on Donard. By the way, I'm not using the Thaco penalty for our melee people being in the way, and I'm not using that because these birds are likely flying at head height, or even above. So Donald misses. There's one on Sylvia. She misses it. And there's one on Carrick. And he hits it. And he seems to be quite good at hitting things which fly in the air. Well, I suppose being a dwarf, there's a lot of air above him. And he cleaves it in 2. There are 2 left. Round number 2. And we get initiative. Right. Liz. Yes. Kills 1. Cullen. Hits, kills the last one. Shoots it out of the air. The last 2 fall with arrows through their necks. And we are actually going to pick these up. These dead piranha birds. Because it's coming to the end of the day. And, well, we could do with making our rations last a bit longer. So yeah, we're going to pluck and dress these piranha birds, maybe for not dinner tonight but dinner the next day. Donard and Gareth Ironhand can leave them hanging off their backpacks to, I've forgotten the word, when you let game hang up so it, oh, what is that word? You know, you just don't eat it immediately. You hang it upside down from the rafters to cure? No, it's not quite curing. Okay. All and any suggestions welcome. What is the word for when you kill game birds and you hang them upside down so the meat becomes ready to eat? We continue on our tunnel with 6 fine birds ready to pluck. By the way, if you've ever been in a kitchen when somebody is plucking like a chicken or a rooster, the smell is unbelievably disgusting. The passage curves gently round to the right, and it does a sort of small dog leg to the left, and then a sharp right again. We've crossed over this tunnel. You know, I've never actually used Gareth Ironhand and his ability, sloping floors. It's always been Carrick. I'll do Gareth. No. But we've been continually going around to our right. We could be spiralling underneath these, as we believe we are, but it's no shock to any of us that up ahead we see a door, and by the time we get to open the door, there is a 3rd wandering monster. What is it? It's more robber flies. These things are nasty. How many of them? There's 1. Right. Indeed, it could be just sitting right in the middle of the door, much the way that, well, flies just sit on walls and things. and there it is, just a big giant insect, over 2 foot long, sitting in the middle of this door. There is no surprise. And the attacks are mutual. It will have 12 hit points. These things are tough. Liz hits it easily and does 5 damage. It's from 12 to 7. Cullen misses. Gareth misses. Donard misses. Sylvia hits and does 3 damage. It's from 7 to 4. Carrick also hits, and while this thing was about to peel itself off and attack him, as it turns around, he just smacks it in the head and it's stunned, just drops to the floor. But did it actually get its attack on him? And it did. One final bite before it dies, and it did 2 points of damage to our dwarf. Right. So, we're at this door, we open it, we hammer a spike in to keep it open, and we're back in this room. Now, I'm going to use Staff of Healing on Donard. Oh, that's 2 points. He's up to 15. That's both the Staves of Healing on him, so he's going to cast Cure Light Wounds on himself. And that's another 4. He's up to 19. We're going to explore for another couple of hours, and then we're just going to call it an evening. Right, back in a minute. We've got 3 doors left, and we'll check them out. Now, the last time we just picked a door at random, and we had a large number of wandering monsters attack us. So we are going to take a vote. 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 6. For southeast, south, southwest. And everybody insists on going southwest. So we open this door and we're going to spike it open. And the tunnel continues due west for 60 feet, slightly curving northward, and then towards the end it does a U-shaped bend. Right. I'm going to do both Carrick and Gareth Ironhand because we're going at a slow pace, and they're going to check to see if the tunnel slopes upward or downward. None of them detect anything, which means both Carrick and Donard blunder into a trap, and they take damage as they fall 10 feet. And Carrick takes 6 damage. He's down to 13. Donard takes another 3 damage. He's down to 16. We have to do dexterity checks for both Liz and Sylvia. Liz is orange, Sylvia is green. And Liz makes her dexterity check, as does Sylvia, which means neither of them falling into the pit trap. And which means we're going to throw down a rope. Liz has been carrying a rope that's been magical. We don't know what it does, but this is the first time we can use it. And sure enough, it seems to attach itself to the wall, and climbing up it is, well, much easier and faster. This is a rope of climbing, and finally we've identified it. Right, let's get to the top of this trap. Donard has used both of his Cure Light Wounds, and both him and Carrick have used both of the Staves of Healing. So we'll gather ourselves, make our way all the way back to here. By the way, also, Malin and Sylvia have not cast one spell today. But we'll go back to the room, and all of that will have taken, well, it will have taken more than 2 turns. By the time we get back to the room, has anything walked through these open doors? We've had 3 out of 3 wandering monsters, and that isn't one. So yeah, I think we're going to bed down for the night and keep watch. Does anything happen in the middle of the night? It doesn't. Does anything happen first thing in the morning? It doesn't. So I'm going to use the Staff of Healing on both Carrick and Donard. We'll do them at the same time. And both get 6 points back. Carrick is up to 19, Donard is up to 22. And he gets his 2 Cure-Light Wounds and his Hold Person back. And we've got 2 doors left. Southwest or south? 1 to 3 southwest. And yep, and the tunnel goes southeast for about 20 feet, and it does a sudden turn. So it does a sudden turn to the east, where it continues onward for about another 60 feet, slightly curling to the south, and then it goes around a corner due south for about 40 feet, and it opens up into a large cavern. And this cavern is a subterranean river. It seems to head outward. Well, it must head somewhere. Hallelujah. I think we've found the exit, but by the time we get there, is there anything by the river taking a drink? No, there isn't. Let us read up about this room. Underground stream. A chute of rapids is about 100 feet. On the right, the rapids spill into a placid stream before you, which meanders out of sight to the left. Considering the way we're facing, this is our right and that is left. So the stream is flowing this way. Now if we decide to stay on the shelf, we do wandering monster checks, and the walls are covered in green phosphorus fungi, which enables us to see downstream, and indeed the stream goes into a tunnel. And when we put a spear into the stream, it's really only about 3 feet deep. That's about chest height to Carrick and Gareth, but they're sturdy and heavy. And it looks like this is finally our way out of these caves. And I can't tell you how relieved everybody, including myself, is. Okay, I'll take a break and review this. I rolled random dice to open these doors, and when we first landed in here, I rolled a 2. This door's 1, so this door opened, we got attacked by berserkers. And so we followed this door randomly, and it opened up a large area of the dungeon. We then tried more random doors, and they opened up more areas of the dungeon to this way. There are 2 routes we didn't finish. We didn't finish going eastward, and we didn't finish this tunnel that goes northward. Now both of those tunnels turn and end up with dead ends here. Now if you have a mapper and both these tunnels open up in dead ends, there's a good chance one of the party members or one of the players might be suspect and look for secret doors. And they'd be correct. There's a series of secret doors which lead to the treasure stash on this level. We didn't do that, so we got a lot of monsters, a lot of wandering monsters, but we miss out on the treasure hoard. God damn it. Now the other thing to note is that we rolled randomly every door apart from the most direct route. If we'd rolled a 5, we would have found this tunnel first and found this second room, and if we rolled a 4, then we could have taken this tunnel, which we have taken, and been out. So purely randomly, you could be out of here in 4, 5 turns, 6 maybe. But we've spent about 2.5 days here. I'm glad, for the purposes of exploring this module, every random dice led us into exploring this cave system. But if you're playing this yourself, do be aware there is a combination of dice that will take you out of here very, very quickly, and you don't explore any of it. Hey ho. Well, for the purposes of a demonstration and gameplay, that couldn't have happened any better. But for the minds of our poor party, that was probably the most nightmare combination of random dice. We hit every named encounter, and we had so many random wandering monsters, and we missed the treasure. Okay, and let's see where this river takes us, and we don't care about getting our legs and our torsos wet. We're just so glad to be out of here. The party jump into the river, Liz expected she'd cry out with the cold, but much to hers and everyone's surprise, the water is very warm. Everyone except the dwarves. In the rock home, says Carrick, there are whole underground lakes with warm water like this. They say they're fed with a deep fire mountain. I've never seen it, but I do enjoy making the journey to the hot lakes. Aye, Gareth agrees with him. They continue downstream, wading and sloshing through the water. It's flowing their way, and it helps to buoy them along, but it is undeniably tiring. The only thing that makes this bearable, says Liz, is that I haven't had a warm bath in years. It oddly feels good. Eventually, after what seems like an hour, they come to a wide flat shelf of rock. They pull themselves up onto it for a break. They make themselves comfortable despite their soaking wet pants. Malin looks around at the glowing phosphorus fungus that lights the tunnel. I wonder if these mushrooms feed off the hot steam. They need to fuel their light somehow, he muses. You could stay here and make a study of it, says Donard. I take it you're the clever one, Cullen asks Malin. You know what would cheer us up, says Carrick. Some music. If only we had a bard with us. He stares at Gareth Ironhand. You know, a famous bard. Gareth just turns to Sylvia and says, My shoulders ache. You wouldn't happen to have any ointment. Asking for the ointment is the dwarven way to let others know the subject is closed. Donard, Sylvia, Carrick and Liz feel drained after their rest. Malin feels better. The effects of the magic fountain have worn off. They finish resting and jump back into the river. They walk downstream for another couple of hours. They pass several more rocky shelves. We should make a note of these, Sylvia remarks, in case we need somewhere safe to sleep. These tunnels are remarkably quiet. After another hour, the novelty of walking along a hot bathtub wears off, and Liz starts to feel anxious. Just say this river doesn't lead anywhere, or just say it falls into a well and takes us with it. We have no other option, says Donard, but look, he points ahead. There's another wide shelf of rock off to their right. This one isn't lit by blue mushrooms, but rather an orange glow. With their spirits lifted, they slosh their way towards the shelf and climb out of the water. Wow, says Malin, when they stand up and catch their breath. In front of them, with a high lofty roof, is a cathedral-like cave. Vast stalactites and stalagmites form huge columns. Smaller ones litter the floor and hang from above. There are huge forces of nature at work unseen under the feet of those who live on the hill above. The party see huge tunnels off to the left and right. Where did they go next?